Live it. Don't preach it. The Stoic demand for embodied philosophy, quote, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus, the noise versus the walk. We live in an age where words are abundant, but action is rare. Everyone has a quote to post, a value to claim, a mission to proclaim, but fewer and fewer people actually live what they preach. In a digital world, performance often replaces principle. That's why Epictetus' quote hits so hard, even 2,000 years later. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Stoicism is not a TED Talk. It's not a clever caption or an aesthetic journal. It's not for impressing others. It's for surviving yourself. For standing tall in a collapsing world, this is not just a call to authenticity. It's a radical act of self-discipline, to live without applause, to hold a standard silently, to become the example, not the explainer. 1. Why the world doesn't need more philosophers, but more examples. Philosophy is cheap. Practice is rare. Anyone can read Marcus Aurelius. Few can live like him. The world doesn't need more thinkers, it needs more doers. More people who show what integrity looks like under pressure, what courage means when it costs you, what love feels like without being explained. In an age of influence, the real revolution is embodiment. You don't need to prove your values, you just need to embody them. Because when you do, people feel it, not through what you say, but through what you are. 2. Socrates, the man who died for his philosophy. Socrates didn't write books. He walked the streets, asked questions, lived humbly, and in the end, drank the poison. He didn't run. He didn't beg. He accepted death with the same calm with which he asked questions. That is embodied philosophy, choosing virtue over life itself. Socrates believed that to betray one's principles was a worse fate than death, and so, he proved it. You cannot fake that kind of courage. You either live it, or you don't. 3. Maximus, Captain America, and the Quiet Code in Gladiator. Maximus never explains his values. He just lives them: loyalty, honor, silence, sacrifice, and in death, he inspires an empire. In Captain America, Steve Rogers leads not through speeches but through example. He jumps on the grenade. He stands alone. He does what's right when no one claps. In John Wick, vengeance aside, you see a man of relentless internal code. He doesn't talk. He acts. The strongest characters in fiction are the ones who embody principle without monologue. They don't preach. They are the sermon. 4. Religious icons and saints who embodied truth. Jesus didn't simply say love your enemies. He forgave his killers as he was dying. Buddha didn't demand enlightenment. He sat in stillness and became it. Saint Francis of Assisi said, preach always. Use words if necessary. The holy ones of history didn't need to prove holiness. They lived it, through humility, service, and sacrifice. They taught us, the truest teaching doesn't come from the mouth, it comes from the life. 5. Mandela, Gandhi, and Viktor Frankl. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. When freed, he chose peace. He didn't explain forgiveness, he embodied it. Gandhi didn't just talk non-violence, he wore simplicity. He fasted, he walked. Viktor Frankl, in Auschwitz, wrote, everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude. These are not men of theory, they are monuments of integrity. Their lives were their philosophies. 6. Virtue signaling versus quiet integrity. Today, we confuse moral performance with moral presence. We post, we hashtag, we criticize, but do we live it? Epictetus would be unimpressed. He'd ask, how do you respond to insult? Do you keep your promises? Do you show up when no one watches? That's philosophy, not a quote, not a lecture, a response. Virtue signaling is noise. Embodiment is music. 7. What embodied philosophy looks like in daily life. The man who refuses to gossip silently. The mother who chooses patience over yelling. The student who admits I don't know instead of pretending. These are the quiet victories that shape character. Nobody may notice, but your soul does. Embodied philosophy is a choice made 1,000 times in silence. 8. When to speak, and when to be the message. There's a time to teach, and there's a time to simply be. Marcus Aurelius led armies and wrote only to himself. Seneca mentored emperors, but warned, most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. Words without embodiment are noise, but a life well lived, that echoes forever. 9. How to practice living your philosophy. Choose a core principle, for example, patience, honesty, restraint. Live it for 1 week without talking about it. Reflect daily. Where did you fail? Where did you succeed? Let others discover it. Don't announce, just embody. Keep repeating until it becomes who you are. 10. Conclusion. Let the flame speak. A candle doesn't explain its fire, it just burns. So must you. Don't explain your integrity. Live it. Don't justify your code. Walk it. Don't argue your values. Embody them. Because the quiet life of principle speaks louder than the loudest voice in the room. Be the flame. Let them feel the warmth. That is stoicism. That is freedom.